Well, today's July 7th, 2025. And, hey, there's Mr. T. Hey, there's Goldie. They're coming to see me. Now I have to set that back down. Well, 7 in numerology is considered like the number of perfection because that's how many days we have in the week. We've got seven days in the week. So they say the number 6 is a number of man. 666 is the mark of the beast. Well, on the 7th day God rested. That's what it says. So that's why you're supposed to keep the Sabbath day holy, set it apart. But that's just a side note. I was thinking about Bob Dylan's song I and I a little bit ago, and I'm not sure exactly where I'm heading with this here thought, but I'm not playing my mom's music right at the moment because I'm not ready. And I just got off the phone with Apple trying to figure out, like, if I delete something off my phone, it'll delete it out of iCloud, and I just wanted to get it off my phone. I don't want to delete it permanently out of iCloud. Well, you know, they got all these rules, and so it's kind of hard to figure out because you can inadvertently just, you know, delete something permanently and be gone forever, no recovery, and you can do that by mistake. I've had stuff deleted from me. I got empty folders that had stuff in it, you know, but it's gone. I don't know how come it's gone. But anyway, it's not because I actually deleted it or tried to delete it or did anything. It just happens. But look, just say I have a I got a telescope now. Now I got a microscope. Now I got a telescope. I got both of them. So I can look out and I can look in. And I can see for myself with my own eyes what's out there and what's in there. You know, they say matter. They haven't figured out matter yet. Because there's more space in matter than there is matter. I mean, matter is like kind of like a TV show, you know. The person is on the TV, but they're not really inside the TV. That's an image of the person, and it's all generated by electronics. And my dad, you know, I went to school early on. I wanted to help people. I wanted to be a minister, you know, and help people. But my dad wanted me to go to school to learn electronics. And after I finished graduate school and all that, you know, got out of the Navy and all that, I was actually working with electronics and in the IT world with electronics, information technology. And my dad told me, see, if you would have did what I told you to do, you'd be in the same place, but you'd be better off. Well, you know, I did it my way. And I did follow my inspiration, my bliss. But look, I got on my other phone here. I kept thinking about the Upanishads. I don't know what the word Upanishads means. I know it comes from the Hindu religion, which it's just like the Protestant religion, has a lot of different breakdowns within the Hindu religion of different kinds of religions that fall under the category or the rubric of Hinduism. Buddha is, I think, the most popular one. Buddha's what Buddha said. And Buddha was a person who lived about 500 years before Jesus. And, you could say that they were brothers in the cosmic realm. And it seemed to me that my dad is out there in the cosmic realm. He's already dead, and he said before he died that he was excited about dying because he's going to be able to go to heaven and, see the Lord like that. Well, it seems to me that, my dad and my mom are both alive. And it's more than just being alive in my heart. Like it's kind of really, really weird. Like I was saying last time, I feel like they're wanting to talk, like through me, like I'm channeling them. Well, it could be that it's just that I know my dad and my mom more than any other person alive knows them or knew them. And so there's a part of them and they're alive inside of me. See, look, I'm not like a psychiatrist or a psychotherapist or a psychologist or a sociologist, or I'm not like, I know about a lot of different theories and stuff, and I've studied a lot of them, but I'm not any one thing in particular. And it's like Joseph Campbell said, I remember when he was talking to Bill Moyer on the PBS broadcast, and he told Bill Moyer, he said, I never have the experience. He said, I'm not a mystic. I'm not a shaman. I'm not a monk. I'm not a person who has committed their life to any one thing in particular. Joseph Campbell would be considered like if you were studying comparative religions. See, that's what Joseph Campbell would be like. He did a lot of work with mythology, but he said he would never have the experience of, like, say, a person would have if they were totally invested into one thing. My mom was totally invested into one thing, and I believe that she still is that way, because she was a stubborn, hard-willed person. Like, she didn't give up, like, on the vision of her mind, okay? I learned from my mom, first of all, the concept of a person's mind's eye. The eye of your mind. Not the eye of your eyeball inside your head that you see physical stuff with, but the eye of your mind. And I remember her saying, like, stuff like, you got to see it in your mind's eye. And that's where I learned you got to see something with your mind's eye. Okay? Well, she didn't have to explain all that to me. She didn't have to explain, like, the nuances or the precise things of what that could mean or what it did mean. She didn't have to put that in any kind of context, no. Like, I understood it as though by, like, a supernatural kind of channel. An unseen channel transmitted from my mom to me. Okay? I got that. Okay? I got that inside my spirit, inside my soul, inside my heart, inside my mind, inside my feeling. I got it all in all that stuff, And I understood. And I still understand. And that's why she passed that on to me, and I'm passing it on to you. And making a note of it for myself on this day, 7/7/25. Well, I woke up at like 7 o'clock, on the dot, and I started thinking about this because when I woke up, it was like I just woke up from a dream, and as I was waking up, I did realize I had totally invested in my dream, and now I'm waking up, and I had to say, where was I? What was I just dreaming about? I had to recall it, before I slipped out of my mind and forgot it, forever. But I was dreaming. That I was checking out my next body. Like, I was looking at a chest, and I got my chest right here. All right, I got my pectorals right here, and I'm not as strong as I used to be, but I'm not really that big of a person, and I've always been a strong person though, for my size anyway, and but now, man, I got a lot of pains and stuff. I've had 2 surgeries on my neck, I had a surgery on my back, different stuff, but it's kind of like I have to check it out like a new body, like my next body or something. And I kind of woke up from that and said, man, do I got to go through this again? I was thinking to myself, well, that chest was I don't know, about twice as big as mine, but it wasn't, the pectoral muscles, weren't tight, I didn't really notice like a 6-pack, ripped muscles in your stomach, bulging of strength. And I said to myself in my dream, well, I guess it's doable. I guess I can do some bench presses. And then I remembered, when I was a kid, at my buddy Mike Johnson's house, in his basement, he had weights and a bench press, and we'd go to his house in his basement and work out. And every day we'd be pushing iron, and saying, okay, do as many repetitions of a certain amount of weight as you can do. And then, do that however many times we were doing it, until we got completely wore out, or until our time ran out, or whatever. But every day we would do it. Same amount of repetitions, I know that I can do, okay, I know I can do 10. Okay. Next day, well, can I do 11? Can I do 12? Pretty soon, okay, I can do 15. All right, now gonna increase the weight by a pound on each side. See what I can do then, or what we can do, and we compete with each other. It's slow going, but day by day, every day working out, you get strong. I mean, if I would have stayed in Wisconsin, living with my mom, my mom sent me to my dad's because she couldn't handle me no more, and that's what she said. Well, she couldn't. But I was a lot bigger than her, and she couldn't push me around. She couldn't force me by physical strength to do her will. And well, I went to my dad to visit and found out I had to stay. Yeah, just thought it was the best thing. Well, that lasted for about a year. And my dad sent me back to live with my mom. But look, the thing is, The thing is, I woke up, I'm just thinking, man, I gotta go through this again. You know, it's kind of like checking out the form I'm going to take next. I started wondering then, like, you know, what is this life? I mean, would we have a soul that has to keep being, like, you know, reborn into a body? There is a. I remember when I was in theology school. I remember there was one group of people that believed like there were a certain number of souls, and that's all there were. You know, and a lot of the stuff you wonder, well, how this is just a bunch of bullshit, man. Nobody knows that kind of stuff. How can you can't believe it, you know, because anybody could say anything, and then, you know, I don't know. A lot of people get a following, you know. They might drink poison or something, like they did one time, you know. A guy had a following, and then, you know, he told everybody to drink the poison, you know. It happened. And they all died. And, you know, crazy stuff. Well, I've always been against, you know, not always, but from the time I was in the military, that's when I actually started understanding the difference between crazy religion and religion at the bush that burns without reason. There's a difference. Right. But like there's a lot of different religions, all right, like, and philosophies. Like, you got Nietzsche. Nietzsche is probably closer to my kind of perspective, even though I haven't read much of Nietzsche's work, and most of it's been just references to his work and stuff, you know, not really actually his real work, which I am going to read now that I have a little bit more time on my hands. But it seemed to me that I was kind of brought to a consideration in my dream that the possibility, it is possible that, you know, I could be in another body. I don't know if it means after I die, you know, my like as I said, I think I said before, like, we could be like avatars, you know, and our real person, our real soul is like out there, you know, but we're just living vicariously, you know, through these bodies like avatars. I don't know how that all works out. There's a possibility, though. It could be true. Yeah, it seems like, you know, now I'm kind of being stretched. Like, I was thinking while I was making my coffee, I was thinking about my grandma and my grandma Robbins. You know, it seemed like she wants to jump in on the action. You know, she sees that that I'm channeling my mom and my dad, and she's out there saying, "Hey, don't forget about me." You know, my grandma, she's one who taught me about the Robbinses and the Birds, because, you know, my last name is Robbins. My great grandma, like, I don't know if it's my grandma on my grandpa's side or my grandma's side, but their last name was Bird. And I remember her telling me about how the Robins came from the birds and stuff like that, or something. I don't know. But, you know, yeah, you know, my grandma, you know, she helped me when I fell and stuff like that, you know. You know, my grandma put the betadine or whatever you call it, like that red stuff that stung, on my cuts and everything, and washed my hands under the sink and everything, you know. You know, my dad didn't do it. My grandma did that for me and to me. And I remember it. And but it seemed to me that my dad, you know, he's always been kind of more technical, of course, than my mom, you know. And he stayed, you know, more current on his understanding of technology and everything. And seemed to me that he's reading the Upanishads or something like that. I'm not really sure what the Upanishads are. I just know that, again, they come from, Hindu stuff. But I did look up, and I got oh man, I didn't get my glasses. I don't even know where my glasses are now. Well, oh well, I have to try to read this without glasses. But this is from my dad, and because he's always been more like the kind of more of like okay, like, I don't know, like Einstein would be, or somebody like that, I mean, the Hindu religion is very different than like Christian religion, that's for sure. I don't want to go into all that right now, but they talk about this, and I'm just going to read some of this here because it comes from my dad, and I mean, I'm thinking that this is what he's like looking at and everything. Like, he didn't do this when he was alive, but I think he's doing it now in the ethereal realm. It's either that, or I have a very, very intriguing imagination. My imagination. Yeah. It could be that when we die, lights go out and that's it. I don't know. Look, one way or another. That's why I really like Jackie Benson's song, Rolling On. She says in there, time keeps rolling on, with or without you, baby. I'm gonna keep rolling on. Well, look, maybe all we are is just a flicker, like a flicker of light. Not even a star, just a flicker of light in the vast cosmos of the universe. I don't know. Maybe we're just a little tiny cell in God's body, maybe. I'm not going to try to say it's one way or the other. I just am going to say that I stand in awe, and I say, behold. And I want to look, and I want to see. That's why I got a microscope. That's why I got a telescope. Look, this is from the Upanishad Sutta, Discourse on Supporting Conditions. I'm just going to try to really read this real quick, While staying at Savatthi, the Exalted One said, and I don't know what all these words mean, like canker, like I know what a canker sore is, and I'm assuming that it has something to do with like that. Like, I don't know what canker actually means, but the destruction of the canker, monks, okay, he's talking to monks, and this is the Buddha talking now, is for one who knows and sees. Okay, the destruction of the cankers, monks, is for one who knows and sees. Okay, now he's going to bracket this paragraph here. This is for one who knows and sees. So you got to understand, I was talking about the mind's eye. You got to know and see. You can't understand this if you can't. If you don't understand it, then it don't pertain to you, I guess. I understand it. The destruction of the cankers, monks, is for one who knows and sees. I say, not for one who does not know and does not see. Knowing what, seeing what, does the destruction of the canker occur? Such is a material form. Such is the arising of material form. Such is the passing away of material form. Such is feeling, etc., perception, etc., mental formations, etc., consciousness. Such is the arising of consciousness. Such is the passing away of consciousness. For one who knows and sees this, monks, the destruction of the canker occurs. Okay? So, that's what he's talking about. Destruction of the canker occurs for one who knows and sees. Okay. He hasn't gotten into the supporting conditions yet. And the supporting conditions seem to be what my father was occupying himself with of most interest at this point, his evolution. Evolution. That's a new word. I was going to say evolution, and combining another word with evolution, but I said evolution. Anyway, it's funny how we can make up words. The knowledge of destruction with respect to destruction. The knowledge of destruction with respect to destruction has a supporting condition. I say, it does not lack a supporting condition. And what is the supporting condition for the knowledge of destruction? Emancipation should be the reply. Emancipation, monks, also has a supporting condition. I say, it does not lack a supporting condition. And what is the supporting condition for emancipation? Dispassion should be the reply. Okay? Yeah. Now, emancipation is something that strikes near to my heart. Okay? Give me liberty or give me death. Okay? You're like that elk or that, trying to jump over the chasm, like I was talking about that one day, Give me liberty or give me death. Emancipation. Liberation theology. Okay. I showed the book I had about that. Okay. Dispassion, monks, also has a supporting condition. I say, it does not lack a supporting condition. And what is the supporting condition for dispassion? Disenchantment should be the reply. Disenchantment should be the reply. It's a supporting condition for dispassion, which is the supporting condition for emancipation. Disenchantment, monks, also has a supporting condition. I say it does not lack a supporting condition. And what is the supporting condition for disenchantment? The knowledge and vision of things as they really are should be the reply. The knowledge and vision of things as they really are should be the reply. The knowledge and vision of things as they really are, monks, also has a supporting condition. I say it does not lack a supporting condition. And what is a supporting condition for the knowledge and wisdom of things as they really are? Concentration should be the reply. Concentration, monks, also has a supporting condition. I say it does not lack a supporting condition. And what is the supporting condition for concentration? Happiness should be the reply. See, I'm at 28 minutes. I ain't gonna go past 30. Happiness, monks, also has a supporting condition. I say it does not lack a supporting condition. And what is the supporting condition for happiness? Tranquility should be the reply. Tranquility, monks, also has a supporting condition. I say it does not lack a supporting condition. And what is the supporting condition for tranquility? Rapture should be the reply. Rapture, monks, also has a supporting condition. I say it does not lack a supporting condition. And what is the supporting condition for rapture? Joy should be the reply. I can't help not thinking about, see right now, my barmaid, my ethereal girlfriend, Joy. Joy should be the reply. Joy, monks, also has a supporting condition. I say it does not lack a supporting condition. And what is the supporting condition for joy? Faith. Faith should be the reply. Faith, monks, also has a supporting condition. I say it does not lack a supporting condition. And what is the supporting condition for faith? Suffering. Suffering should be the reply. Suffering, monks, also has a supporting condition. I say it does not lack a supporting condition. And what is the supporting condition for suffering? And I'm going to hold off right there. I don't think I should tell you what the supporting condition for faith is, or for suffering. I mean, suffering is when it's in there. I'm not going to say what it was. I know what it is. It's a secret, and I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to look it up yourself, or I might talk about it sometime down in the future. But I'm at 30 minutes now and 48 seconds, so yeah. What is the supporting condition? All right, I love you. Bye.